I'm Victoria Cooksey, and today we're going to demystify all the information on craft chocolate bar wrappers. So join me and hopefully it'll help you with your next purchase. I'm going to be showing you a bunch of different bars. The first one here is by Solstice because I wanted to show you that this one has bean to bar written on it. Some bean to bar makers will have it, some won't. What it means in a nutshell is you're getting actual whole quality good beans, and you're going through all the steps to turn that into chocolate, and then you turn that into your bars, or maybe sometimes makers make bonbons too, but for our purpose, the bars. All the bars you pick up typically are going to list a percentage. This dark chocolate bar lists 70%. Now what that means is the 70% might be coming from cocoa nibs, or it might be a combination of taking the cocoa nibs and adding additional cocoa butter. So you could have a bunch of 70%, and some might taste a lot darker of a chocolate than others, literally because of, is it more cocoa butter versus full-on chocolate. Then the other 30% of like this bar would be sugar. So that kind of lets you know how much sugar is in a bar as well. And it can be regular sugar, coconut sugar. There's a lot of different types of sugar out there to use. Continuing with ingredients, this bar by Firefly really breaks it down for you. You've got 66% cacao beans with the origin Tanzania. You've got 20%, in this case, coconut butter, and it talks about the origin there. And then 12% is coconut sugar, and they put the actual origin from the sugar as well. So some are going to be very specific, and that's cool. You don't even have to think about percentages and stuff. It's right there for you. Something that all the bars are going to have in common is they're going to list the maker somewhere. This bar actually listed pretty big. Pump Street Chocolate is the maker. Here we've got our percentage. Then when it comes to single origin bars, it means it's coming from a single place. So in this case, this is from Brazil. They break it down even farther, and they tell you the exact estate the cacao comes from. And taking even another step further, it tells you this one's the 2016 crop. So if you like wine and you've noticed, okay, I had a 2015 wine that I really liked and the 2016 came out and it tastes different to me, it's going to be similar with chocolate as well. Each harvest is going to taste different based off of terroir and weather and how it was handled and so many things from start to finish. So that's going to kind of give you an idea what crop that was. Something else Pump Street Chocolate does is they put a batch number. Not all makers do, some do. When you're first starting off, it really is not going to matter because you don't have to worry about that. Just worry about more like, okay, what am I getting here with this other stuff we're talking about? But down the road, you could look at, say, like my tasting notes and, oh, she put this batch number. Am I tasting from the same batch? Because maybe if it's a different batch, you get completely different notes. So that's what it means, but I really think you just don't need to worry about it right off the bat. Sometimes you might notice a whole bunch of words on the bar, but you can kind of step away from that for a moment and look, okay, we still got the information. We've got the maker, we've got the percentage, there's the country it came from, there's the harvest. Well, now you know that. So then you can go back and then enjoy the extra information, enjoy the story, but don't let all the words, get in the way of that. It's still the same info is there. When a bar is like these, both are 75% single origin bars. And again, we're coming back to, okay, they've got the cacao nibs, we've got maybe cocoa butter added, maybe some type of sugar. Usually it's this very basic. Some makers might put vanilla, but a lot of times with craft chocolate makers, they're not doing the vanilla really anymore. But you might see on the front of the bar, well, this one says tasting notes, apricot, cashew, jasmine tea. This one's like grounding, earthy, red fruit. It can be a little confusing sometimes because that does not mean that they added apricot or cashew or jasmine tea. It means when you smell, or in this case, taste it, that might be something you're going to actually taste. Even though you're like, well, this is just chocolate. And again, tasting chocolate's a whole other story as well. But the beautiful thing with craft chocolate is they smell so differently, they taste so differently, country to country, maker to maker, using the same beans even, will be so different. And you actually get just tons of flavor notes, just like if you're a wine drinker or craft beer drinker or cheese eater or quality coffee lover, and you notice, oh, all these different ones from all these different places taste different, and different processes they taste different. So same with chocolate, it's going to taste different. But if it says tasting notes, that doesn't mean it was added, it just means that might be a flavor you get. So where we covered this bar where the tasting notes weren't actually things in it, then there's some bars that are actually have something infused in the making or an inclusion. In this case, like the chocolate bar, it says orange licorice. So it doesn't mean, oh, you might get notes of it. In this case, it means, yeah, this is put in there. Or over here, sea salted chunks of caramel are actually put in there. Sometimes you might see fruit, you might see nuts, you might see herbs, you might see spices, you might see all kinds of stuff. So in those cases, you're probably going to taste it because it is actually in there. Besides just bars that say either dark milk or white chocolate bars, you're going to also notice ones that say dark milk on them. And what that means is while you still got the cocoa nibs in there and you got the milk powder and you got, say, the sugar. So you're thinking, why is that not milk chocolate? Well, yeah, it's got the milk, but it tends to have a much higher percentage or so-called darker chocolate in there. So you're going to get kind of that borderline. If you like milk chocolate, but you want to kind of start working towards the dark, it's a good place to start. I personally just really love them because sometimes that's just what I want. But basically, it's just going to be a bit of a higher percentage bar. You're also going to notice a lot more interesting white chocolates out there on the market right now in the craft chocolate world, where they're going to actually list the origin for the cocoa butter itself. So that's basically Ecuador means, okay, the cocoa butter in here came from beans from Ecuador. And also you're going to notice higher percentages. A lot of the bars aren't using vanilla anymore. So really white chocolate is a whole other world. And if you think you don't like white chocolate, you need to go the craft chocolate route. You're going to find some interesting things. But yeah, even white chocolate nowadays is going to have percentages and origin countries on it. So check that out as well. And just a little bit of a wrap up here. When bars win awards, they get stickers. So sometimes you're going to see different award stickers around. Or then say like this bar that's a French chocolate maker, you might be like, oh, I'm not exactly sure what all these words mean. But typically, a lot of times you can flip over and in the ingredients list, there's also going to be ingredients in English. So, you know, okay, these beans are Mexico, it's got cocoa butter, it's got sugar, it's got milk powder, it's 65%. So if you ever get confused, quite often you can turn them over and see something like that as well. We could go on and on, honestly, but I'm going to stop there, and hopefully that gave you a little bit of idea of what you're looking for. Be sure to leave comments below if you have more questions. Leave comments or direct message me if there's kind of further information you'd like on this or other videos you'd like to see about the craft chocolate world and information you'd like to learn. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and also if you subscribe to Chocolate Connoisseur magazine, I do an article for that each month. So check out my blog, Dark Matter Chocolate Reviews, and again, let me know what you're thinking about and what you'd like to see more of. Thanks for watching. Now go buy some chocolate.